Thanks for tuning in to EskimoTV, your home for icy and chilly movie reviews. I'm your host, Jason Escamilla. Beautiful Boy is directed by Felix van Groeningen and is actually a true story based off two memoirs. There is a son who is addicted to meth and a father who has to help his son cope through that addiction. If you're interested in reading those memoirs, they're two separate ones, and in this movie we get to see both of these perspectives on screen. It's a really hard movie to watch. It stars Steve Carell and Timothée Chalamet, who deliver a heartbreaking and emotional performance. We get to see what it is like for not only the person who is suffering with a drug addiction, but all of those people around them. I thought this movie did a terrific job at being accurate, as sad as it might be. I had a friend that I've just known since we were in middle school, and just sometime throughout high school got involved in some heavy drugs, and it was hard for me as his friend to see him go down this path. And I tried to be a good friend, I tried to help, and this is a not easy monster to get rid of. It is hard when you are addicted to these crazy hardcore drugs, and this movie does a good job at showing the struggle that people closest to this drug addict have to go through. You see that Steve Carell is so desperate to fix his son, and it's so heartbreaking when the rehabilitation center has to tell him that relapse is a part of the process, and he doesn't want to accept that his son is going to continuously fall back into his old patterns. And Timothée Chalamet does a great job at portraying someone who is addicted to crystal meth. It really felt like he knew my friend that I was just describing earlier, who was addicted to some really hardcore drugs, because when I interacted with him, that is how he would act and behave, just hungry for the drugs, can't really focus or think about anything else because you don't have that fix. People that have known somebody and have interacted with someone who is addicted to drugs will be able to relate to these characters. And if you haven't, if just the people around you have never dealt with this kind of stuff, this movie is very informative. It may seem a bit over the top, but this is real. I felt, like I said earlier, this is exactly what I, for just a small portion of my life, went through when I was interacting with, like I said, one of my friends who was addicted to this stuff. And so it's informative, it's relatable, and I think that this is a movie that most audience members will like if they can stomach the heartbreaking circumstances that occur throughout the film. As far as negatives go, the only thing that I could really think of is the editing is a little weird. There's a few moments while I was watching this movie where I couldn't tell how much time had passed in between all of the cuts. There's one scene in particular where a character says, "Oh, hey, it's been 400 days since this other event that we had seen earlier in the movie," and it didn't feel like 400 days had passed. And so I felt like just if they had, and this is a small thing, this isn't like, I'm not going to take off like a lot for this, but I did think that I just was a little confused with the timing of all of the events. But other than that, I really had a good time with this movie. And I think that if you are curious as to what drug addicts go through, or just want to see characters that are relatable to either yourself or someone you know, I think this is definitely a great film to go check out. I'm gonna give Beautiful Boy an A-. I love talking about movies, but one thing I love more is talking about movies with you. So if you have a question or have an opinion that you'd like to share regarding A Beautiful Boy, leave a comment below and we can have an ongoing conversation. You can also follow me on social media at EskimoTV. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And as always, if you enjoyed this review, like this video and subscribe for more icy and chilly EskimoTV reviews.